History is often seen as a fixed narrative, a series of events neatly laid out in textbooks and classrooms. But what if I told you that some of the most important chapters of our past have been hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves? Today, we're diving into 20 overlooked archaeological discoveries that have quietly rewritten the story of humanity. These aren't just dusty relics or forgotten ruins. They're keys to understanding civilizations, cultures, and even ourselves in ways we never imagined. From ancient cities buried beneath modern streets to artifacts that defy explanation, each of these discoveries challenges the assumptions we've held for generations. Why does this matter? Because every time we uncover a piece of the past, we're not just learning about history, we're discovering the roots of who we are today. So, let's step into the unknown together and explore the secrets that have been waiting centuries to be revealed. Hidden beneath layers of sediment and centuries of myth, the ancient city of Helike was once considered little more than a legend, a story passed down through the ages about a prosperous Greek city suddenly destroyed by the wrath of the gods. But in 2001, archaeologists uncovered the truth. Helike was real, and its story was far more dramatic than anyone could have imagined. Buried by a catastrophic tsunami in 373 BC, the city vanished almost overnight, leaving behind a haunting snapshot of life in the ancient world. What makes Helike so extraordinary isn't just its tragic end, but what it tells us about the people who lived there. The artifacts and structures unearthed from pottery to tools to the foundations of homes paint a vivid picture of a thriving community. These weren't just relics, they were pieces of everyday life, offering a rare window into how ordinary Greeks worked, worshipped, and connected with one another. But perhaps the most striking revelation is how Helike's destruction mirrored the myths that surrounded it. Stories of Poseidon's wrath, long dismissed as mere folklore, suddenly took on new meaning as evidence of the tsunami emerged. This discovery doesn't just rewrite the history of Helike, it challenges us to rethink how we interpret ancient myths. Were they simply stories, or were they attempts by ancient people to make sense of the incomprehensible forces that shaped their world? Helike reminds us that even the most fantastical tales can have roots in real events, waiting for the right moment to be uncovered. And as we move forward, we'll see how another groundbreaking discovery pushed back the clock on human civilization itself. Just when we thought we had the timeline of human history figured out, along comes Göbekli Tepe to turn everything on its head. Nestled in the rolling hills of southeastern Turkey, this ancient site is nothing short of revolutionary. Dating back over 11,000 years, Göbekli Tepe predates not only Stonehenge but also the Great Pyramids of Giza by thousands of years. What makes this discovery so astonishing isn't just its age, it's what it tells us about the origins of human society. For decades, archaeologists believed that agriculture and settled communities came first, laying the groundwork for organized religion and monumental architecture. But Göbekli Tepe flips that script entirely. Here, we find a sprawling temple complex adorned with intricate carvings of animals, symbols, and massive stone pillars arranged in precise circles. These weren't just random stones, they were carefully crafted and placed by people who clearly had a shared vision and purpose. The sheer scale and sophistication of the site suggest something extraordinary. That spirituality and collective ritual may have been the driving force behind early human cooperation, long before the advent of farming or permanent settlements. What's even more fascinating is what this implies about the people who built it. These weren't primitive hunter-gatherers aimlessly wandering the landscape. They were a highly organized group capable of planning, engineering, and executing a project of immense cultural significance. The carvings themselves depicting foxes, lions, and other animals hint at a rich symbolic language, a way of communicating ideas and beliefs that we're only beginning to decipher. But perhaps the most tantalizing question is this: why did they build Göbekli Tepe? Was it purely a place of worship, or did it serve a deeper, more practical purpose in their lives? Some researchers suggest that the site may have been a gathering place for seasonal rituals, bringing people together to share knowledge, resources, and traditions. Others believe it could have been a way to mark the cycles of nature, aligning with celestial events that held profound meaning for these ancient communities. What's undeniable is that Göbekli Tepe forces us to rethink the very foundations of civilization. It challenges the idea that survival and practicality came before art, spirituality, and culture. Instead, it suggests that these elements were intertwined from the very beginning, shaping who we are as a species in ways we're only starting to understand. And as we move forward, we'll see how another discovery reveals the incredible ingenuity of ancient engineering, proving once again that our ancestors were far more advanced than we often give them credit for. While Göbekli Tepe redefined our understanding of early human society, another discovery from a much later era reveals just how far ancient civilizations had come in terms of technological innovation. Picture this: a corroded, fragmented lump of bronze and gears lying forgotten in a shipwreck for over 2,000 years. It doesn't sound like much at first glance, but when archaeologists began piecing it together, they realized they were holding something extraordinary: the Antikythera Mechanism. Often referred to as the world's first analog computer, this intricate device was found off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera in 1901, and it has since become one of the most fascinating artifacts of the ancient world. What makes the Antikythera Mechanism so remarkable is its complexity. Crafted around 100 BC, this device was capable of predicting astronomical events with astonishing accuracy. Using a series of interlocking gears, it could track the movements of the sun, moon, and even the planets, calculating eclipses and other celestial phenomena. To put it simply, this was a tool for understanding the cosmos, a product of minds that were far ahead of their time. But here's the real kicker: nothing even remotely similar would appear again until the 14th century, when mechanical clocks began to emerge in Europe. So how did the ancient Greeks achieve such precision without the tools and technology we take for granted today? The answer lies in their unparalleled mastery of mathematics, engineering, and astronomy. The creators of the Antikythera Mechanism didn't just understand the movements of the heavens, they found a way to replicate them mechanically, a feat that required both deep knowledge and ingenious problem-solving. Some researchers believe the device may have been used by scholars or sailors, helping them navigate the seas or plan religious festivals tied to celestial events. Others speculate it could have been a teaching tool, a way to demonstrate the workings of the universe to students. Whatever its purpose, the Antikythera Mechanism is a testament to the intellectual curiosity and technical skill of the ancient Greeks. But this discovery does more than just highlight the brilliance of one civilization. It challenges the way we think about progress itself. For centuries, the narrative of human history has often portrayed technological advancement as a linear journey, with each generation building on the last. The Antikythera Mechanism shatters that assumption, showing us that ancient societies were capable of leaps in innovation that we're only beginning to comprehend. It forces us to ask, what other groundbreaking technologies might have been lost to time, buried beneath the waves or hidden in the sands of history? As we move forward, we'll see how another discovery reveals the surprising interconnectedness of ancient cultures, proving that even in a world without airplanes or the internet, ideas and knowledge traveled farther than we might expect. In 1974, a group of farmers digging a well in China's Shaanxi province stumbled upon something that would change our understanding of ancient history forever. What they uncovered was no ordinary artifact. It was the first glimpse of an army frozen in time. A silent legion of life-sized terracotta soldiers, horses, and chariots, each one meticulously crafted with astonishing detail. This was the Terracotta Army, a staggering monument to the power and ambition of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. But this discovery is far more than a display of imperial grandeur. It's a window into the beliefs, artistry, and military prowess of one of the world's greatest ancient civilizations. The sheer scale of the Terracotta Army is breathtaking. Archaeologists estimate there are over 8,000 soldiers, each with unique facial expressions, hairstyles, and armor, reflecting the diversity of the real army that once served the emperor. But it's not just the soldiers. There are also hundreds of horses, chariots, and even acrobats and musicians, all crafted to accompany Qin Shi Huang into the afterlife. This wasn't just a show of wealth. It was a deeply symbolic act rooted in the belief that the emperor's power would continue beyond death. What makes this discovery so extraordinary is what it reveals about ancient Chinese society. The level of craftsmanship involved in creating these figures is nothing short of remarkable. Each soldier was made using a combination of molds and hand carving, with intricate details like the tread on their boots or the texture of their armor added with painstaking precision. This wasn't mass production. It was art on an unprecedented scale, a testament to the skill and dedication of the artisans who worked on this project. But the Terracotta Army also offers a rare glimpse into the military strategies of the time. The soldiers are arranged in precise formations, with archers, infantry, and cavalry positioned to reflect the tactics used in battle. This wasn't just a symbolic army. It was a functional one, designed to protect the emperor in the afterlife, just as his real army had protected him in life. The discovery has allowed historians to piece together how ancient Chinese armies were organized and deployed, shedding light on a period that was once shrouded in mystery. Perhaps even more intriguing are the questions that remain unanswered. Why were so many resources devoted to this project? What beliefs about the afterlife drove the construction of such an elaborate tomb? And what other treasures might still lie buried beneath the soil, waiting to be discovered? The Terracotta Army is a reminder that even the most well-known archaeological sites can hold secrets we've yet to uncover. As we move forward, we'll explore another discovery that takes us even further back in time, challenging our understanding of early human migration and the incredible journeys our ancestors undertook to shape the world we know today. For decades, the story of how humans first arrived in the Americas was dominated by what came to be known as the Clovis First theory. According to this widely accepted idea, the earliest settlers crossed the Bering Land Bridge from Siberia around 13,000 years ago, spreading across the continent in a wave of migration. But then came Monte Verde, a quiet archaeological site in southern Chile that would turn this narrative upside down. Dating back more than 14,000 years, Monte Verde isn't just old. It's ancient in a way that forced scientists to rethink everything they thought they knew about human migration. What makes Monte Verde so extraordinary isn't just its age, it's the remarkable preservation of the site itself. Unlike many ancient settlements which leave behind little more than scattered stone tools, Monte Verde offers an almost cinematic snapshot of early human life. Archaeologists have uncovered the remains of wooden dwellings, complete with post holes and even remnants of animal hides that once served as walls. Nearby, they found tools made of bone and stone, as well as evidence of fire pits and food scraps like seaweed and wild potatoes. These weren't just fleeting campsites, they were homes, places where people lived, worked, and thrived. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of Monte Verde is what it tells us about the journey these early settlers must have taken. If humans were living in southern Chile 14,000 years ago, that means they had to have arrived in the Americas even earlier, likely venturing down the coast by boat or following ancient routes now lost to time. This challenges the idea that migration was a straightforward overland journey, suggesting instead that early humans were far more adaptable and resourceful than we've often given them credit for. They weren't just following herds of mammoths across a frozen landscape. They were navigating coastlines, rivers, and forests, carving out a life in a new and unfamiliar world. The discovery of Monte Verde didn't just rewrite the timeline of human migration. It opened up new questions about how and why people moved across the globe. Were they driven by curiosity, necessity, or something else entirely? And what other sites still hidden beneath the earth might hold clues to this incredible journey? Monte Verde reminds us that history is rarely as simple as it seems, and that every discovery has the potential to reshape our understanding of the past. As we move forward, we'll explore a discovery that takes us into the realm of ancient medicine, revealing a level of sophistication that rivals even our modern understanding of health and healing. Imagine a world where broken bones, head injuries, and even spinal trauma were treated with precision and care, not in a modern hospital, but over 3,500 years ago in ancient Egypt. This is the world revealed by the Edwin Smith Papyrus, a medical text so advanced for its time that it could easily be mistaken for a modern surgical manual. Dating back to around 1600 BC, this ancient document is a treasure trove of medical wisdom, offering a glimpse into the minds of some of history's earliest healers. What sets the Edwin Smith Papyrus apart from other ancient medical texts is its remarkable practicality and scientific approach. Unlike many documents of the time, which often blended medicine with magic and superstition, this papyrus focuses on observable facts and logical solutions. It describes detailed treatments for a variety of injuries, from head wounds to dislocated shoulders, complete with step-by-step instructions for diagnosis and care. The text even includes terms like inflammation and pulsation, showing a level of anatomical understanding that wouldn't become common in Europe until centuries later. But perhaps the most striking feature of the papyrus is its organization. The injuries are listed in a systematic way, starting from the head and moving down the body, a method that mirrors modern medical textbooks. This wasn't just a random collection of remedies, it was a carefully structured guide designed to help physicians make informed decisions based on evidence and observation. And while some treatments might seem unconventional by today's standards, like using honey as an antiseptic, many of the techniques described were remarkably effective, proving that ancient Egyptian medicine was far more advanced than we often assume. So, how did they achieve such expertise? The answer lies in their culture of observation and innovation. The Egyptians were meticulous record keepers, documenting everything from the movements of the stars to the flow of the Nile. This same attention to detail carried over into their medical practices, where they carefully studied the human body, experimented with treatments, and passed their knowledge down through generations. The Edwin Smith Papyrus is a testament to that legacy, a reminder that the roots of modern medicine stretch far deeper into the past than we might realize. This discovery doesn't just illuminate the medical practices of ancient Egypt. It challenges us to rethink the narrative of human progress. It shows us that even in a world without microscopes or X-rays, people were capable of remarkable feats of healing and understanding. And as we wrap our minds around this incredible document, we're reminded that the pursuit of knowledge is a timeless human endeavor, one that connects us across the centuries. Now, let's shift our focus to another groundbreaking discovery, one that takes us to the very beginnings of written communication, revealing how the power of the written word first took shape in the ancient world. Long before the rise of ancient Mesopotamia and the development of cuneiform, a group of people in what is now Romania were experimenting with a groundbreaking idea, the written word. Unearthed in 1961 near the village of Tartaria, the Tartaria tablets are small, unassuming clay discs covered in intricate symbols and markings. At first glance, they might not seem like much, but these artifacts have sparked one of the most heated debates in archaeology. Why? Because if their age is confirmed dating back to around 5300 BC, they could predate the earliest known writing systems by centuries, rewriting the story of how and where written communication began. What makes the Tartaria tablets so intriguing is the mystery surrounding their purpose. The symbols etched into the clay don't resemble any known language, and their meaning remains a subject of intense speculation. Some researchers believe they represent an early form of proto-writing, a system of symbols used to record information, perhaps for trade or religious rituals. Others argue they might be part of a more complex script, a lost language waiting to be deciphered. The possibilities are endless, and each theory opens up new questions about the people who created them. Who were they? What were they trying to communicate? And why did this early attempt at writing disappear, leaving no obvious descendants? The implications of this discovery are profound. If the Tartaria tablets are indeed the earliest known form of writing, they challenge the long-held belief that writing first emerged in Mesopotamia with Sumerian cuneiform. Instead, they suggest that the urge to record and communicate through symbols may have arisen independently in multiple parts of the world, driven by the needs of different societies. This doesn't just reshape our understanding of written language, it highlights the universal human desire to leave a mark, to tell stories, and to connect across time and space. But the Tartaria tablets also remind us how much we still have to learn. Despite decades of study, we've only scratched the surface of what these symbols might mean. Each new analysis, whether through advanced imaging techniques or comparative studies with other ancient scripts, brings us closer to unlocking their secrets. And as we piece together the puzzle, we're reminded that history is rarely a straight line. It's a web of interconnected ideas, innovations, and cultures, each one contributing to the story of who we are. This discovery doesn't just push back the timeline of written communication, it invites us to imagine a world where ideas traveled farther and faster than we might think. And as we turn our attention to the next discovery, we'll see just how far those ideas could go, revealing a sprawling network of trade and exchange that connected ancient civilizations in ways we're only beginning to understand. Deep beneath the waves off the coast of Turkey lies a time capsule from the Bronze Age, a shipwreck so rich with treasures that it feels like something out of a pirate's tale. Discovered in 1982 near the town of Kaş, the Uluburun shipwreck isn't just a collection of ancient artifacts. It's a window into a world of trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange that stretched far beyond what we once imagined. Dating back over 3,300 years, this ship carried a cargo so diverse that it reads like a map of the ancient Mediterranean. Gold from Egypt, ivory from Africa, amber from the Baltic, and even tin from as far away as Afghanistan. But this isn't just a story about luxury goods. It's about the connections that bound ancient civilizations together in ways we're only beginning to understand. What makes the Uluburun shipwreck so extraordinary is the sheer scale of its trade network. The ship's cargo included raw materials like copper ingots, likely bound for smelting into tools or weapons, as well as finished products such as glass beads, pottery, and jewelry. But it's not just the variety of items that's striking, it's the distances they traveled. Some of these goods came from regions thousands of miles apart, suggesting a level of economic integration that rivals even our modern global market. This wasn't just a simple trade route, it was a web of connections linking kingdoms, cultures, and peoples in a way that challenges the idea of the ancient world as isolated and disconnected. The ship itself tells a story too. Built from cedar wood, it was a sturdy vessel designed to carry heavy loads across the unpredictable waters of the Mediterranean. The presence of personal items like a golden scarab inscribed with the name of Queen Nefertiti suggests that this wasn't just a merchant ship. It may have also carried diplomats or high-ranking officials, hinting at the political importance of these trade missions. And then there's the mystery of its sinking. Was it a storm, a navigational error, or even an attack that sent this ship to the bottom of the sea? We may never know for sure, but what we do know is that its loss preserved a snapshot of life in the Bronze Age, frozen in time beneath the waves. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the Uluburun shipwreck is what it reveals about the people behind the trade. The ship's cargo wasn't just about wealth, it was about relationships. The exchange of goods was also an exchange of ideas, technologies, and traditions, creating a shared cultural landscape that spanned continents. This discovery forces us to rethink the Bronze Age as a time of isolation and conflict. Instead, it paints a picture of a world where cooperation and exchange were just as important as conquest and competition. As we turn our attention to the next discovery, we'll see how another ancient civilization looked to the stars, not for trade or travel, but to understand the very fabric of the universe itself. High in the forests of Germany's Mittelberg mountain, a metal detectorist stumbled upon something extraordinary in 1999. A bronze disc about the size of a dinner plate, adorned with golden symbols of the sun, moon, and stars. At first glance, it might have seemed like nothing more than a curious artifact, but archaeologists soon realized they were holding one of the most important discoveries in the history of astronomy. Known as the Nebra sky disk, this ancient object dates back to around 1600 BC, making it the oldest known representation of the cosmos ever found. What makes the Nebra sky disk so remarkable isn't just its age, it's the depth of knowledge it reveals about the people who created it. The disk's design is far from random. It's a carefully crafted map of the heavens, with the sun and moon taking center stage, surrounded by stars and additional symbols that may represent solstices or other celestial events. But here's the real kicker. The disk wasn't just a decorative piece. Researchers believe it was a functional tool, possibly used as a calendar to track the seasons or predict astronomical phenomena like eclipses. Imagine a farmer in Bronze Age Europe using this disk to know when to plant crops, or a community planning festivals around the cycles of the moon. This wasn't just art, it was science encoded in metal. The Nebra sky disk also challenges our assumptions about ancient societies and their understanding of the universe. For centuries, we've often thought of early humans as disconnected from the cosmos, focused solely on survival and the immediate world around them. But this discovery paints a very different picture. The people who created this disk weren't just observing the sky, they were analyzing it, finding patterns, and using that knowledge to shape their lives. This level of sophistication suggests a deep connection to the natural world, one that went far beyond mere superstition or myth. But the disk story doesn't end there. The symbols themselves have sparked intense debate among researchers. For example, the cluster of stars near the top of the disk is thought to represent the Pleiades, a star cluster that has held cultural significance across many ancient civilizations. Some have even suggested that the disk's creators may have been part of a larger network of knowledge sharing, trading ideas about the heavens with distant cultures. If true, this would mean that the Bronze Age was far more interconnected than we've ever imagined. The Nebra sky disk doesn't just illuminate the past, it invites us to reconsider how we think about progress. It shows us that ancient people were not only capable of understanding the cosmos, but also of creating tools to navigate it. This discovery reminds us that the desire to understand the universe is as old as humanity itself, a shared thread that connects us across millennia. Now, let's shift our focus to another discovery, one that takes us from the stars to the battlefield, revealing a side of ancient warfare that defies our expectations. In the late 1940s, a young Bedouin shepherd wandering the cliffs near the Dead Sea made a discovery that would change the course of biblical scholarship forever. What he stumbled upon wasn't just a cave filled with old parchment. It was a treasure trove of ancient texts hidden away for over 2,000 years. These were the Dead Sea Scrolls, a collection of manuscripts that include some of the earliest known versions of the Hebrew Bible. But this discovery is far more than a religious relic. It's a time capsule, offering us a rare glimpse into the beliefs, practices, and daily lives of a community living in a pivotal moment of history. What makes the Dead Sea Scrolls so extraordinary is their sheer scope and diversity. The scrolls include biblical texts, commentaries, hymns, and even legal documents written in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. But it's not just the content that's remarkable, it's the state of preservation. Thanks to the arid climate of the Dead Sea region, these fragile manuscripts survived the centuries in astonishingly good condition, allowing us to read words written by hands that lived over 2 millennia ago. For scholars, this is like opening a window directly into the past, offering insights into how these sacred texts were copied, interpreted, and used by the people of the time. One of the most fascinating aspects of the scrolls is what they reveal about the development of Judaism and the roots of Christianity. Many of the texts contain interpretations of biblical stories that differ from later traditions, shedding light on the diversity of thought within ancient Jewish communities. For example, some scrolls include apocalyptic visions and messianic prophecies, ideas that would later resonate deeply with early Christian teachings. This has led scholars to see the Dead Sea Scrolls as a bridge between the two faiths, offering clues about the shared cultural and spiritual landscape from which both emerged. But the scrolls also tell a more personal story. Among the texts are letters, community rules, and even personal prayers, giving us a glimpse into the lives of the people who wrote and preserved them. Many scholars believe the scrolls were created by a group known as the Essenes, a Jewish sect that lived in isolation near the Dead Sea, dedicating themselves to prayer, study, and communal living. Their meticulous copying of texts, often with detailed annotations, reveals a deep reverence for the written word and a commitment to preserving their heritage for future generations. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls doesn't just enrich our understanding of ancient religions, it challenges us to think about how history is preserved and passed down. Who decides which texts are sacred? How do interpretations of those texts evolve over time? And what other treasures might still be hidden in the caves and cliffs of the Dead Sea, waiting to be uncovered? These questions remind us that history is never static. It's a living, breathing narrative shaped by the people who write it and the hands that preserve it. As we move forward, we'll turn our attention to another groundbreaking discovery, one that showcases the incredible ingenuity of ancient engineering, proving once again that our ancestors were masters of innovation long before the modern era. Stretching across the arid plains of southern Peru, the Nazca lines are one of the most enigmatic archaeological wonders on Earth. Etched into the desert floor over 2,000 years ago, these massive geoglyphs, some stretching over 600 feet, depict everything from hummingbirds and spiders to intricate geometric patterns. From the ground, they appear as little more than faint scratches in the earth, but from above, they transform into breathtaking works of art, visible only from the sky. The question that has puzzled researchers for decades is simple yet profound. Why did the Nazca people create these enormous designs in a place where no one could see them? Theories about the purpose of the Nazca lines are as varied as the designs themselves. Some researchers believe they were sacred pathways, meant to guide religious processions or rituals honoring the gods. Others argue they served as astronomical markers, aligning with the stars or solstices to help the Nazca people track the seasons. And then there's the more speculative idea that they were messages to the heavens, perhaps even intended for beings beyond our world. While we may never know the true purpose of these geoglyphs, what's undeniable is the incredible effort and precision required to create them. Using nothing more than simple tools, the Nazca people removed the dark, iron-rich surface stones to reveal the lighter soil beneath, creating lines that have endured for millennia. What's even more fascinating is what the Nazca lines reveal about the culture that created them. These weren't just random doodles in the sand, they were carefully planned and executed, requiring a deep understanding of geometry and spatial organization. Some of the designs are so large that their creators would have needed a way to visualize them from above, sparking debates about whether the Nazca people had developed early forms of hot air balloons or other aerial technology. While there's no direct evidence to support this, the sheer scale of the lines suggests a level of ingenuity and ambition that continues to inspire awe. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the Nazca lines is what they tell us about human creativity and the desire to leave a lasting mark on the world. Whether they were religious symbols, astronomical tools, or something else entirely, these geoglyphs remind us that ancient people were driven by the same curiosity and imagination that define us today. They challenge us to think beyond the obvious, to consider the possibility that the past holds mysteries we're only beginning to unravel. As we leave the desert behind, let's set our sights on the open sea, where another discovery reveals the remarkable maritime technology of an ancient civilization, proving that even the vast oceans were no barrier to human ingenuity. Off the coast of Cyprus, in the shimmering waters of the Mediterranean, lies a time capsule from the ancient world, a shipwreck that has become a cornerstone of maritime archaeology. Discovered in 1965 by a sponge diver, the Kyrenia shipwreck dates back over 2,300 years, offering a rare and remarkably well-preserved snapshot of Hellenistic seafaring. But this isn't just a sunken ship. It's a story of innovation, trade, and the resilience of ancient mariners who braved the unpredictable seas. What makes the Kyrenia shipwreck so extraordinary is its level of preservation. Unlike many ancient wrecks which leave behind little more than scattered timbers and artifacts, this vessel's hull was almost entirely intact when it was discovered. This allowed archaeologists to study its construction in unprecedented detail, revealing the ingenuity of ancient shipbuilders. The ship was built using mortise and tenon joints, a technique that involves interlocking wooden pieces without the need for nails. This method not only made the vessel strong and durable, but also allowed it to flex with the motion of the waves, a crucial feature for surviving the Mediterranean's often treacherous waters. But the Kyrenia shipwreck isn't just a testament to ancient engineering. It's also a window into the bustling world of Hellenistic trade. The ship's cargo included over 400 amphorae, large ceramic jars used to transport goods like wine, olive oil, and grain. These weren't just random items, they were carefully packed and stowed, reflecting a sophisticated understanding of weight distribution and cargo management. Mixed among the amphorae were smaller finds, from almonds and olives to fishing weights and even a collection of fine tableware. Together, these artifacts paint a vivid picture of a ship that was part of a vast network of commerce, connecting distant ports and cultures across the Mediterranean. So, what does this discovery tell us about the challenges of ancient seafaring? For one, it highlights the immense risks faced by those who made their living on the water. The Kyrenia ship was relatively small, measuring just about 47 feet long, yet it carried a substantial cargo and likely a crew of 4 or 5. These sailors would have navigated by the stars, braved storms, and faced the constant threat of piracy, all to deliver goods to far-off markets. The ship's final voyage ended in disaster, but its wreckage has given us invaluable insights into the skill and determination of these ancient mariners. Perhaps the most poignant aspect of the Kyrenia shipwreck is what it reveals about the people behind the trade. Among the artifacts found were personal items like a wooden spoon, a gaming piece, and even a pair of sandals, reminders that this ship wasn't just a vessel for goods, it was a home for its crew. These small, everyday objects humanize the past, connecting us to the lives of people who lived and worked over 2 millennia ago. This discovery doesn't just illuminate the mechanics of ancient shipbuilding or the intricacies of maritime trade. It reminds us of the enduring spirit of exploration and connection that has defined humanity for centuries. And as we turn our attention to the next discovery, we'll see how ancient civilizations used their creativity not just to navigate the seas, but to capture the very essence of life itself through art. Nestled deep within the limestone cliffs of southern France lies a treasure trove of ancient artistry that has captivated the world since its discovery in 1994. The Chauvet cave, with its breathtaking collection of paintings, offers us a rare and vivid glimpse into the lives of our prehistoric ancestors. Dating back over 30,000 years, these images are not just the oldest known examples of human art, they are a testament to the enduring power of creativity, a bridge connecting us to the very origins of human expression. What makes the Chauvet cave paintings so extraordinary is their sheer beauty and sophistication. The walls are alive with images of horses, lions, mammoths, and rhinoceroses, rendered with a level of detail and dynamism that rivals modern art. These aren't just static representations, they are scenes filled with movement and life, as if the animals themselves are frozen in mid-motion. Some figures overlap, creating a sense of depth and perspective, while others are arranged in deliberate compositions, suggesting a narrative or symbolic meaning. But here's the real marvel. These were created by people who lived in a world without written language, metal tools, or permanent settlements. So what drove them to create such masterpieces? Theories about the purpose of the paintings are as varied as the images themselves. Some researchers believe they were part of ritualistic practices, perhaps meant to invoke the spirits of the animals or ensure a successful hunt. Others suggest they could have been a form of storytelling, a way to pass down knowledge or myths from one generation to the next. And then there's the idea that the cave itself was a sacred space, a kind of prehistoric cathedral where early humans gathered to connect with something greater than themselves. Whatever their purpose, the paintings reveal a profound connection between humans and the natural world, a relationship that was both practical and deeply spiritual. But the Chauvet cave isn't just about the art, it's about the people who created it. The cave's remote location and difficult access suggest that creating these paintings was no casual endeavor. It would have required planning, cooperation, and a shared vision, qualities that hint at a level of social organization and cultural complexity we often underestimate in early humans. The artists used charcoal and ochre to create their works, carefully selecting materials and techniques to achieve the desired effects. Some even used the natural contours of the cave walls to enhance the three-dimensionality of their figures, showcasing a keen awareness of their environment and an ability to innovate with the tools they had. What's perhaps most striking is the emotional resonance of these images. When you stand before a painting of a charging bison or a prowling lion, you're not just looking at a picture, you're experiencing a moment of connection with someone who lived tens of thousands of years ago. These paintings remind us that creativity is not a modern invention. It's a fundamental part of what makes us human. They challenge us to rethink the timeline of human development, showing that even in a world of survival and scarcity, our ancestors found ways to express themselves, to dream, and to create. As we leave the shadowy depths of the Chauvet cave, let's turn our attention to a discovery that takes us from the realm of art to the intricacies of ancient urban life. revealing how early civilizations organized their cities in ways that continue to inspire awe today. While the Chauvet cave paintings remind us of humanity's earliest artistic expressions, another discovery takes us to the dawn of urban civilization, a society so advanced that its achievements still leave modern engineers in awe. Nestled in what is now Pakistan and northwest India, the Indus Valley civilization flourished over 4,000 years ago, long before the rise of ancient Egypt or Mesopotamia. This was no small village or scattered settlement. It was a sprawling network of cities, home to tens of thousands of people, and a testament to human ingenuity on an unprecedented scale. What sets the Indus Valley civilization apart is its remarkable urban planning. Cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were laid out in precise grid patterns, with wide, straight streets intersecting at right angles, a level of organization that wouldn't be seen again until the Roman Empire thousands of years later. But it wasn't just the layout that was impressive, it was the infrastructure. The Indus people built sophisticated drainage systems, complete with covered sewers and even individual household connections, ensuring that waste was efficiently managed. This wasn't just a matter of convenience, it was a public health innovation that kept cities clean and livable in a time when many other civilizations were still struggling with basic sanitation. The craftsmanship of the Indus Valley people was equally extraordinary. They were masters of metallurgy, producing tools, jewelry, and even intricate figurines from materials like bronze, copper, and gold. Their pottery was both functional and artistic, often adorned with geometric patterns and animal motifs that hinted at a rich cultural life. And then there's the mystery of their writing system, hundreds of tiny seals inscribed with symbols that remain undeciphered to this day. Were these symbols part of a language, a form of record-keeping, or something else entirely? The answers may still lie buried beneath the sands of time. But perhaps the most intriguing question is what caused the decline of this once thriving civilization. Theories abound, from climate change and shifting river patterns to invasions and internal upheaval. Some researchers point to evidence of prolonged droughts, which may have disrupted agriculture and forced people to abandon their cities. Others suggest that the Indus Valley's highly centralized society may have become too rigid, unable to adapt to changing circumstances. Whatever the cause, the legacy of this civilization endures, offering lessons in resilience, innovation, and the delicate balance between humans and their environment. The Indus Valley civilization challenges our assumptions about what ancient societies were capable of. It shows us that advanced urban planning, engineering, and artistry weren't the inventions of later empires. They were the products of human creativity and cooperation thousands of years earlier. And as we marvel at their achievements, we're reminded that the past is full of surprises, waiting to inspire and teach us even today. Now, let's turn our attention to a discovery that takes us from the streets of ancient cities to the forge, where another civilization pushed the boundaries of what was possible with metal, reshaping not just tools and weapons, but the very trajectory of human history. Rising nearly 23 feet above the ground in the heart of Delhi, the Iron Pillar is a silent sentinel of ancient ingenuity. For over 1,600 years, this towering column has defied time, weathering rain, heat, and humidity without a trace of rust. It's not just an artifact, it's a masterpiece of metallurgical engineering, a testament to the skill and knowledge of ancient Indian craftsmen. But what makes this pillar so extraordinary isn't just its longevity, it's the mystery of how it was made. The Iron Pillar is composed of nearly pure wrought iron, a material that, under normal conditions, would corrode over time. Yet, despite centuries of exposure to the elements, the pillar remains remarkably intact. How did the ancient Indians achieve such durability? The answer lies in a combination of advanced techniques and environmental factors. researchers have discovered that the pillar's surface contains a thin layer of a unique compound called mesowite, a form of iron oxide that acts as a protective barrier against rust. This layer wasn't just a lucky accident, it was the result of precise craftsmanship, likely achieved through a process of careful heating and forging. But the iron pillar isn't just a marvel of metallurgy, it's also a window into the technological prowess of ancient India. The ability to produce such high-quality iron on such a large scale suggests a deep understanding of material science, as well as sophisticated methods of extraction and refinement. This wasn't just a one-off achievement. It was part of a broader tradition of innovation that included everything from advanced mathematics to intricate architecture. The pillar stands as a symbol of a civilization that valued knowledge and craftsmanship, pushing the boundaries of what was possible in their time. What's equally fascinating is the pillar's cultural significance. Standing in the courtyard of the Qut Minar complex, it bears an inscription in Sanskrit that speaks of its origins. Dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu, the pillar was likely erected during the reign of the Gupta Empire, a period often referred to as India's Golden Age. This was a time of flourishing art, science, and philosophy, and the iron pillar is a tangible reminder of that legacy. It's not just a relic of the past, it's a bridge to a time when human ingenuity and creativity were celebrated in ways that continue to inspire us today. As we marvel at the iron pillar's resilience, we're reminded that the past is full of surprises, hidden achievements that challenge our assumptions and expand our understanding of history. And as we turn our attention to the next discovery, we'll step into a world where the boundaries between life and death were marked not by iron, but by stone, revealing the intricate beliefs and rituals of ancient civilizations. Deep in the marshy wetlands of Motala, Sweden, archaeologists uncovered a burial site that sends shivers down the spine, a place where the past feels disturbingly present. Known as the Tomb of the Sunken Skulls, this ancient site dates back over 8,000 years, a time when Europe was still emerging from the last ice age. But what makes this discovery so haunting isn't just its age, it's the chilling details of the burial itself. The remains of at least 11 individuals were found, their skulls mounted on wooden stakes and placed at the bottom of a shallow lake. These weren't just graves, they were part of a ritual, a ceremony that speaks to the beliefs and fears of a society long vanished. The question that immediately comes to mind is why? Why would a community go to such lengths to inter their dead in this way? One theory suggests that the practice was tied to beliefs about the afterlife or the spiritual world. Mounting skulls on stakes might have been a way to honor the dead, ensuring their passage to the next world, or perhaps to protect the living from restless spirits. Another possibility is that these were trophies, the result of conflict or sacrifice, though the exact nature of the violence, if there was any, remains unclear. What's certain is that the Tomb of the Sunken Skulls offers a rare and unsettling glimpse into the rituals of early Scandinavian societies, a people who lived in a world where the boundaries between life, death, and the supernatural were deeply intertwined. But this discovery isn't just about the macabre, it's about understanding the complexity of early human societies. The careful placement of the skulls, the use of wooden stakes, and the choice of a watery grave all point to a level of symbolic thinking that challenges the stereotype of prehistoric people as simple hunter-gatherers. These were individuals with rich spiritual lives, capable of creating rituals that reflected their understanding of the world around them. The Tomb of the Sunken Skulls reminds us that even in a time of survival and scarcity, humans were driven by more than just the need for food and shelter. They were grappling with profound questions about existence, mortality, and the unseen forces that shaped their lives. As we leave the eerie wetlands of ancient Sweden, let's turn our attention to a discovery that shifts our focus from the mysteries of death to the brilliance of life, a testament to the ingenuity of ancient mathematics. Nestled in the sands of Egypt, a small papyrus fragment has revealed a side of ancient Egyptian culture that often goes overlooked: their mastery of numbers. Known as the Rind mathematical papyrus, this document dates back to around 1650 BC, and it's more than just a collection of calculations. It's a window into the mathematical mind of an ancient civilization. The Rind papyrus contains detailed instructions for solving a wide range of problems, from basic arithmetic to complex geometry. It's essentially a mathematical textbook, complete with examples and step-by-step solutions. One of the most fascinating aspects of the papyrus is its use of fractions, a concept that was far from intuitive at the time. The Egyptians developed a unique system for working with fractions, allowing them to divide goods, measure land, and even calculate the angles of pyramids with remarkable precision. But this wasn't just about practicality. It was about a culture that valued knowledge and sought to understand the world through numbers. What's equally striking is the papyrus's tone. The scribe, a man named Alms, writes with a sense of pride and purpose, as if inviting future generations to share in the joy of problem-solving. Accurate reckoning, he writes at the beginning of the text, the entrance into the knowledge of all existing things and all obscure secrets. This isn't just a technical manual, it's a celebration of mathematics as a tool for unlocking the mysteries of the universe. The Rind mathematical papyrus challenges the notion that ancient societies were limited by their technology or resources. It shows us that the pursuit of knowledge is a timeless human endeavor, one that transcends cultures and centuries. And as we marvel at the ingenuity of these ancient mathematicians, we're reminded that the past is full of surprises, hidden achievements that continue to inspire and teach us today. Now, let's journey from the papyrus scrolls of Egypt to the rugged cliffs of South America, where another discovery reveals the remarkable astronomical knowledge of an ancient civilization, proving once again that the stars have always guided humanity's quest for understanding. High in the dusty archives of ancient Mesopotamia, a small clay tablet has quietly rewritten the story of human mathematics. Known as Plimpton 322, this unassuming artifact dates back to around 1800 BC, and it's far more than just a relic of the past. It's a testament to the intellectual brilliance of the Babylonian civilization. At first glance, the tablet's surface is covered in rows of cuneiform numbers, but a closer look reveals something extraordinary. It contains a series of Pythagorean triples, sets of numbers that satisfy the famous Pythagorean theorem, centuries before Pythagoras himself was even born. What makes Plimpton 322 so remarkable isn't just its age or the complexity of its calculations. It's the insight it provides into how the Babylonians approached mathematics. Unlike the Greeks, who focused on geometry and abstract proofs, the Babylonians were deeply practical. Their mathematics was rooted in solving real-world problems, from measuring land to constructing buildings. The tablet's calculations likely served as a kind of reference guide, helping scribes and scholars perform tasks like calculating areas or determining the angles of structures. But here's the twist: the tablet doesn't just list these triples, it organizes them in a systematic way, suggesting a sophisticated understanding of mathematical relationships. The implications of this discovery are profound. For centuries, the Greeks were credited with laying the foundation of Western mathematics, but Plimpton 322 shows that the Babylonians were already exploring similar concepts long before. The tablet's precision and organization hint at a culture that valued knowledge and innovation, one where mathematics wasn't just a tool but a way of understanding the world. This challenges the traditional narrative of mathematical history, reminding us that the roots of human ingenuity run deeper and wider than we often assume. But the mystery of Plimpton 322 doesn't end there. Why did the Babylonians create this tablet? Was it purely for practical purposes, or did it also serve a deeper, more symbolic role in their society? Some researchers believe it may have been used in teaching, a way to pass down mathematical knowledge from one generation to the next. Others suggest it could have been tied to astronomy, helping Babylonian scholars track the movements of celestial bodies. Whatever its purpose, the tablet stands as a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity, a reminder that even in the ancient world, people were driven to explore, calculate, and understand. This discovery doesn't just illuminate the past, it invites us to rethink the way we see progress. It shows us that mathematical breakthroughs weren't the product of a single civilization or time period. They were the result of countless minds working across cultures and centuries, each building on the ideas of those who came before. And as we marvel at the ingenuity of the Babylonians, we're reminded that the quest for knowledge is a shared human endeavor, one that transcends time and place. Now, let's shift our focus from the realm of numbers to the fields of ancient agriculture, where another discovery reveals how early civilizations mastered the art of feeding growing populations, shaping the course of human history in ways we're only beginning to understand. Nestled in the lush highlands of Papua New Guinea lies a site that rewrites the story of one of humanity's most transformative inventions, agriculture. Known as Cuck Swamp, this ancient wetland has revealed evidence of farming practices that date back over 7,000 years, making it one of the earliest known examples of organized cultivation in the world. But this isn't just a story about planting crops, it's about how humans first began to shape their environment, laying the groundwork for the complex societies we live in today. What makes Cuck Swamp so remarkable is the sophistication of the techniques used by its early inhabitants. Archaeologists have uncovered intricate systems of drainage channels and planting beds, designed to manage the swamp's water levels and create fertile ground for crops like taro and bananas. This wasn't just trial and error, it was a deliberate, calculated effort to control nature and ensure a stable food supply. The people of Cuck Swamp weren't just passive gatherers, they were innovators, experimenting with ways to maximize their resources and sustain their communities over generations. But this discovery does more than just push back the timeline of agriculture. It challenges our understanding of where and how farming began. For years, the Fertile Crescent in the Middle East was considered the cradle of agriculture, with its cultivation of wheat and barley. Cuck Swamp tells a different story, one that highlights the diversity of human ingenuity. Here, in the humid tropics of Papua New Guinea, people developed their own unique agricultural practices tailored to their environment and needs. This suggests that farming wasn't a singular, isolated event but a global phenomenon, emerging independently in different parts of the world as humans sought new ways to thrive. The impact of these early farming practices extends far beyond the fields of Cuck Swamp. Agriculture fundamentally changed the way humans lived, allowing for the rise of permanent settlements, complex social structures, and eventually the civilizations we know today. But it also came with challenges, from the labor-intensive work of clearing land to the risks of crop failure. The people of Cuck Swamp remind us that every innovation has trade-offs and that progress often comes with a price. As we marvel at the ingenuity of these early farmers, we're reminded that the roots of modern society stretch deep into the past, shaped by the choices and challenges of our ancestors. And now, let's turn our attention to a discovery that takes us from the fields to the skies, revealing how ancient civilizations used architecture to connect with the cosmos and express their deepest beliefs. High in the Andes Mountains of Peru, the ancient city of Machu Picchu stands as a testament to the ingenuity and vision of the Inca civilization. Built in the 15th century, this sprawling complex of stone structures, terraces, and temples is more than just a feat of engineering. It's a reflection of the Incas' profound connection to the natural and spiritual world. But what makes Machu Picchu truly extraordinary isn't just its beauty or its scale. It's the way its design aligns with the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. The Inca were master astronomers, and their architecture reflects a deep understanding of celestial cycles. At Machu Picchu, key structures like the Intihuatana stone, a carved rock believed to serve as a solar clock, are precisely aligned with solstices and equinoxes, marking the changing seasons with remarkable accuracy. This wasn't just about timekeeping, it was about creating a sacred space where the earthly and the divine could intersect. The city's layout mirrors the surrounding mountains, blending human artistry with the natural landscape in a way that feels almost organic. But Machu Picchu's significance goes beyond its astronomical precision. The city's terraces, built into steep hillsides, showcase the Incas' ability to adapt to their environment, turning challenging terrain into productive farmland. And the use of ashlar masonry, a technique where stones are cut to fit together without mortar, demonstrates a level of craftsmanship that continues to baffle modern engineers. How did they achieve such precision without modern tools? The answer lies in centuries of accumulated knowledge, passed down through generations and refined through trial and error. What's perhaps most striking about Machu Picchu is the way it embodies the Inca worldview. For them, the city wasn't just a place to live, it was a living connection to the gods, a physical representation of their beliefs and values. This discovery invites us to see architecture not just as a functional art, but as a way to express identity, spirituality, and a deep respect for the world around us. As we leave the heights of Machu Picchu, we're reminded that the past is full of stories waiting to be uncovered, stories of innovation, resilience, and the timeless human desire to reach for the stars. And as we turn to our next discovery, we'll see how another ancient civilization used their creativity not just to build cities, but to craft works of art that continue to inspire awe today. Hidden deep in the heart of southern Africa, the ruins of Great Zimbabwe stand as a testament to a civilization that defies stereotypes and rewrites history. This sprawling medieval city, with its towering stone walls and intricate structures, is more than just an archaeological site. It's a powerful reminder of the ingenuity and ambition of a people often overlooked in the broader narrative of human achievement. Built between the 11th and 15th centuries, Great Zimbabwe was once the heart of a thriving kingdom, a center of trade, culture, and political power that rivaled the great cities of Europe and Asia. What makes Great Zimbabwe so extraordinary is the sheer scale and precision of its architecture. The city's great enclosure, a massive elliptical wall made from perfectly fitted granite blocks, stands as one of the largest ancient structures in sub-Saharan Africa. Without the use of mortar, the builders created walls that have endured for centuries, their craftsmanship a quiet rebuke to the outdated notion that advanced engineering was exclusive to other parts of the world. Within these walls, the remains of towers, platforms, and intricate stone carvings hint at a society that valued both practicality and artistry, blending form and function in ways that continue to inspire awe. But Great Zimbabwe isn't just a marvel of engineering. It's also a window into the political and economic power of its builders. The city's location wasn't accidental. It sat at the crossroads of major trade routes, connecting the interior of Africa with the Indian Ocean coast. Gold, ivory, and other goods flowed through its markets, bringing wealth and influence to the Shona people who called it home. The discovery of artifacts like Chinese porcelain and Middle Eastern glass beads underscores just how far-reaching these trade networks were, challenging the Eurocentric view that Africa was isolated or stagnant during this period. Perhaps the most striking aspect of Great Zimbabwe is what it reveals about the sophistication of its society. The city's layout reflects a deep understanding of urban planning, with distinct areas for royal residences, religious rituals, and everyday life. The conical towers and elaborate stonework suggest a culture that valued symbolism and ceremony, using architecture to express power and prestige. And yet, despite its grandeur, Great Zimbabwe was abandoned by the 15th century, leaving behind a mystery that continues to intrigue researchers. Was it climate change, shifting trade routes, or internal conflict that led to its decline? The answers may still lie buried beneath the stones, waiting to be uncovered. This discovery doesn't just highlight the achievements of the Shona people, it challenges us to rethink the way we view African history. For too long, the narrative has been dominated by stereotypes and misconceptions, ignoring the richness and complexity of cultures that thrived long before European colonization. Great Zimbabwe reminds us that innovation and ambition are not bound by geography or race. They are universal traits shared by all humanity. As we leave the towering walls of Great Zimbabwe behind, we turn our attention to a discovery that takes us into the realm of ancient environmental practices, revealing how early civilizations found ways to thrive in harmony with the natural world. In the dense jungles of Central America, where rainfall is abundant but unpredictable, the ancient Maya faced a paradox: how to harness water in a landscape that alternated between deluge and drought. Their solution was nothing short of revolutionary: a complex network of reservoirs, canals, and filtration systems that allowed their cities to flourish in one of the most challenging environments on Earth. This is the Maya water management system, a marvel of engineering and foresight that not only sustained a civilization, but also offers timeless lessons in sustainability and resilience. What made the Maya system so remarkable was its adaptability. Unlike many ancient civilizations that relied on rivers or lakes, the Maya built their cities in areas without natural water sources. Instead, they engineered their environment to suit their needs. At the heart of their strategy were reservoirs, massive man-made basins carved into limestone bedrock. These reservoirs collected rainwater during the wet season, storing it for use during the dry months. But this wasn't just about holding water, it was about managing it. The Maya constructed intricate networks of canals to direct water flow, ensuring that every drop was used efficiently. They even developed filtration systems using sand and gravel to purify water, a level of sophistication that rivals modern practices. The scale of these systems is staggering. In the city of Tikal, for example, archaeologists have uncovered reservoirs capable of holding millions of gallons of water, enough to support tens of thousands of people for months. But what's even more impressive is the foresight behind their design. The Maya didn't just think about immediate needs, they planned for the long term, creating infrastructure that could withstand the test of time. Their reservoirs were lined with plaster to prevent leaks, and their canals were strategically placed to minimize erosion and sedimentation. This wasn't just engineering, it was a philosophy, a way of thinking about humanity's relationship with nature. Yet, the Maya water management system wasn't just about survival, it was also about power. Controlling water meant controlling life, and the rulers of Maya cities used this knowledge to solidify their authority. Reservoirs were often located near palaces and temples, symbolizing the ruler's role as a provider and protector. In times of drought, access to water could mean the difference between loyalty and rebellion, making these systems not just tools for survival but also instruments of political control. So, what can we learn from the Maya today? Their innovations remind us that sustainability isn't just a modern buzzword, it's a timeless principle. The Maya understood that resources are finite and that careful management is key to long-term survival. In a world facing climate change and water scarcity, their approach offers valuable insights. How can we design systems that work with nature rather than against it? How can we balance immediate needs with future challenges? The Maya didn't have all the answers, but their legacy challenges us to think creatively and act responsibly. This discovery isn't just a window into the past, it's a mirror reflecting our own choices. As we marvel at the ingenuity of the Maya, we're reminded that the challenges they faced and the solutions they found are not so different from our own. Their story is one of resilience, innovation, and the enduring human capacity to adapt. And as we close this journey through 20 overlooked archaeological discoveries, we're left with a profound appreciation for the richness of our shared history and the lessons it holds for the future. From the sunken ruins of Helike to the towering walls of Great Zimbabwe, these 20 overlooked archaeological discoveries have taken us on a journey through time, revealing the resilience, creativity, and ingenuity of countless civilizations. Each discovery has not only reshaped our understanding of history, but also reminded us that the past is far richer and more complex than we often imagine. These aren't just relics of forgotten worlds, they're bridges connecting us to the lives, dreams, and struggles of people who came before us. What's truly remarkable is how these findings challenge the stories we thought we knew. Göbekli Tepe turned the timeline of human civilization on its head, while the Antikythera Mechanism proved that ancient societies were capable of technological leaps that still leave us in awe. The Terracotta Army and the Dead Sea Scrolls offered glimpses into the spiritual and artistic lives of their creators, while the Maya water management system revealed a deep understanding of sustainability that feels strikingly modern. Each discovery is a reminder that history isn't a static narrative, it's a living, evolving story, full of surprises and waiting for us to uncover its next chapter. But this journey isn't just about the past, it's about what these discoveries mean for us today. They inspire us to ask questions, to challenge assumptions, and to see the world with fresh eyes. What other secrets lie buried beneath our feet, hidden in the sands of deserts or the depths of oceans? How many more stories are waiting to be told, waiting for the right moment and the right explorer to bring them to light? The beauty of archaeology is that it's never finished. Every dig, every artifact, every fragment of pottery or shard of metal has the potential to rewrite history, to deepen our connection to the human experience, and to remind us of the incredible legacy we've inherited. So, as we close this chapter, let's carry forward the lessons these discoveries teach us. They remind us of the power of curiosity, the importance of perseverance, and the boundless potential of human ingenuity. They show us that even in the face of time's relentless march, the echoes of our ancestors still resonate, calling us to explore, to learn, and to imagine. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through time. If you've enjoyed uncovering these hidden stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the mysteries of our world. The past is waiting, and the adventure is just beginning.